midnight, I declared a state of emergency. I've activated the National Guard, and we are deploying 181 guardsmen, including search and extraction and debris clearance folks. They'll be arriving in communities this morning. The Transportation Cabinet has mobilized its heavy equipment to help clear debris. They'll be assisted by the Guard and the Division of Forestry. State police have been working all night to save lives, and an IMT team of EMS, fire, and other professionals are on the way. I've also requested an immediate federal emergency declaration, and we've got 2 tractor trailers filled with water headed towards Western Kentucky. I want to thank every local EMS employee, police officer, firefighter, and first responder. This has been one of the toughest nights in Kentucky history, and some areas have been hit in ways that are hard to put into words. To all of our Kentucky families that are impacted by this, we want you to know that we are here for you. We love you. We are praying for you. Counties with likely damage and debris as of 4 o'clock include Fulton, Hickman, Graves, Marshall, Lyon, Caldwell, Hopkins, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Breckenridge, Bullitt, Spencer, Shelby, Christian, Logan, Warren, Edmondson, Taylor, and Marion. And as we're sitting here today, and this is before daybreak, we believe our death toll from this event will exceed 50 Kentuckians, probably end up closer to 70 to 100 lost lives. Remember, each of these are children of God, irreplaceable to their families and to their communities. But we will make it through this. We will rebuild. We are strong, resilient people. And we're going to be there every step of the way. I'm going to be in Western Kentucky a little later today, as soon as it is safe to travel, to make sure people know that they are not alone, that this is one state standing strong with those that have been impacted. I'm going to turn it over to Michael Dossett from Emergency Management, and then we'll hear from our Adjutant General as well. At the moment, it looks like we're going to have to take questions via email. Those instructions have gone out because of a technical difficulty. Director Dossett.
Thank you, Governor. And I can only echo the Governor's comments. This tornado event may surpass the 1974 super outbreak as one of the most deadly in Kentucky's history. Our hearts go out to all of the families that are in peril and all of our Kentuckians who have lost their lives. I will tell you from speaking with emergency management directors and judge executives that rescues and search efforts are ongoing. Even before the winds stop blowing, as thunderstorms are going through, we have teams out there, local teams. So thank you for your efforts in all the impacted counties. The track for this tornado event is over 200 miles just in Kentucky, and it may eclipse the 1925 record tri-state track for the longest tornado. It appears that this is going to be a quad state event, all out of the same system, originating in Arkansas through Missouri, Tennessee, and into Kentucky. It is a significant, massive disaster event. So as the governor indicated, all state resources are being brought to bear. We opened the EOC at 8 p.m. Eastern time and began receiving reports very quickly. Some of the most serious hit are actually out of communications in some parts. We've had a lot of people step up to the plate. One in particular, Louisville Metro Emergency Management Services are currently on the highway en route to Mayfield, and they will be there by daybreak. They're going to assist us with an IMT, an incident management team, who will be our forward observation point. And as the governor indicated, he has requested from the president an emergency declaration, and that would include power assessment teams that will go out into the field in all the damaged counties, and also what is called an IMAC. That's an incident management control team. We'll use those in the state EOC for this protracted event. We'll be able to track issues, damages, and resource requests from all counties simultaneously. Again, we ask for your cooperation and your prayers for everyone that's impacted. We're doing damage assessments as they occur, reported through our EM directors. It'll be daybreak before we even realize the full magnitude of this event. Thank you, Governor.
Good morning, everybody. I wanted to give you a situational awareness of the status of your Kentucky National Guard. As the governor indicated a short while ago, we've already mobilized a number of our guardsmen. This mobilization began shortly after midnight, so soldiers have been assembling for a few hours at this junction. While the governor specified we have 181 soldiers and airmen who are already mobilizing in response to this incident, it does not stop with that number of service members. As everybody's tracking at this junction, this is an evolving situation. We still have the storm front passing through the state. And so as the situation continues to develop, we will call upon further members of the National Guard, your National Guard, to respond as necessary. In the near term, Graves County is our immediate focus, as the governor indicated, because of the severity of the tornadoes that pass through there. But we are literally watching the entire state at this junction. And so as your neighbors and friends who are in the Guard, you may see some of them in uniform this morning. You may see some of our folks in the National Guard literally deploying down to the road in response to some of these affected areas. Know that this is what their focus is, and they are here to serve you and the rest of our members in the Commonwealth. Thanks, sir.
You know, as we mentioned, a number of counties hit hard, and we will have casualties in multiple counties. Place that my dad is from, Dawson Springs, hit really hard too. And I know that there is loss there as well, and we will be there to help. We've been able to get a couple of the slides that show a little bit of what we have seen booted up. This is from Joe Sullivan, who is the meteorologist for emergency management. I'm going to try to walk through them. So this is the front itself that we saw. This is, you can see how far and wide it went, right, as it comes up from the south. Let's go to the next one. This shows you that we believe that there were 4 likely tornadoes, not just one, but 4 that hit in multiple places across Kentucky. This is why there are so many counties that ultimately have had significant damage. Let's go to the next one. This shows you what we believe will be the longest tornado touchdown in terms of distance in our history. You go all the way down to the bottom of the screen, and that's where it first touched down, and then it stayed on the ground that entire line, causing significant devastation. This is incredibly rare to see, and it is one of the reasons that this was so devastating here in Kentucky. I think we have one more. We have a couple more. This shows you the different warnings as it came through different areas that were hit and hit hard. Shows you just how severe this event was and how widespread, how many different communities that it hit. And then let's go. And this is the power outage map as of 2 a.m. Obviously, that's evolved, but 56,000, we gave the number before, plus Kentuckians without power. As you can see, Western Kentucky, Hopkins County surrounding area hit very, very hard. And then as we move north, a lot of power outages, even throughout Lexington, Louisville, and certainly Western Kentucky. Let's see, do we have one more? Okay, why don't you, James, just show the one with the dots, the county map with the dots. This shows you just one other way of showing where we've had damage, though reports have come in for a tornado, 4 tornadoes to cause damage in this many counties. Again, I think shows that it will be the single most severe, certainly tornado event in our history, and I believe likely the most deadly. Did I miss anything, Michael?
No, sir.
Okay.
We just received an update on power outages. They are climbing.
Yes. Okay. So the last bit of information to come in is the power outages are climbing and climbing significantly, and daybreak is going to bring more tough news. We're going to learn about more loss of life in daybreak, more loss of structure, and we'll be getting more reports that will include more power outages. Now, we do believe that the system is going to break up in severity, at least by daybreak. We should be significantly out of the woods at about 10 a.m. The entire system will be out of Kentucky. So were we able to get questions sent in? I know this is imperfect, but it's the best that we can do in an emergency situation. Okay. So first, just trying to confirm this figure of more than 50 feared dead in Kentucky, according to the governor. Yes, I fear that there are more than 50 dead in Kentucky. Confirmation on each individual is coming in, but we are going to lose over 50 people, probably closer to somewhere between 70 and 100. It's devastating. Let's see. The next one, I had that one. Latasha, will you? Great. From the Herald Leader, can you describe how many separate tornadoes we have had and the general trajectories of each? So, James, can you put that slide back up? There are 4 tornadoes, one of which was the 200-mile tornado. Keep going. It's one of the 2 weather pictures, I think. There you go. So those show you the 4 tornadoes. Obviously, the longest one was the 227 mile tornado, meaning it touched down and stayed down for that period of time. And then you had 2 to the south of it, but very close together, and 1 to the north. So those are the 4. Now, we had other severe weather in many parts of Kentucky, and we will see damage from wind and other results of it. Okay, next. What do you know about injuries and casualties in Mayfield at the manufacturing plant? It is tragic. This is a candle factory. There were about 110 people in it at the time that the tornado hit it. We believe we'll lose at least dozens of those individuals. It's very hard, really tough, and we're praying for each and every one of those families. Let's see. Kentucky's most recent COVID report showed hospital ICU capacity strained in far western Kentucky. How are hospitals handling injuries? The hospitals are in good shape. They are responding well. One we were concerned about power and other issues, so they were transferring patients. But we are not concerned at the moment of hospital capacity, and certainly we have other professionals coming to help. Okay, we're good on live questions now. You want me to go through the list? All right. First, I think we have, and if I've answered your question already, KFVS 12. Roger, say.
Governor, what can you tell us about the timeline of help getting to Mayfield and the area in Western Kentucky?
Can you ask it again? My audio was bad on the first part.
Sure. What is your timeline for getting help and aid to the people in Mayfield and Fulton County and in Western Kentucky?
Help is on the way right now. Now, this morning, they're going to see the National Guard, the Transportation Cabinet, the Division of Forestry. They're going to see those trucks filled with water pull in. Later today, they'll see teams of other first responders coming, especially from Louisville. They're going to see immediate action and help. Now, we always think about that next day. Let's remember that folks are going to need help for months to come. I'll be in Western Kentucky later this morning as soon as it is safe to travel. But we're going to be right there with all of those officials that we have been talking to see the damage firsthand and to make sure people know that we care and that we're going to be there for them. Carla Ward, Herald Leader. Okay. Let's try Liam with WKMS Public Radio.
Governor, do you know where, Governor, can you hear me?
I can.
Do you know where specifically reports of injuries and fatalities are coming from across the state, specifically communities and counties by chance?
Well, certainly graves. I think we're going to see them in Hopkins, Warren, and then I think we will see several other counties. I will be surprised if we don't lose people in at least 5 or more counties. Marshall, also some fatalities reported to us. Again, this is a widespread weather event, and I think that we're, especially at daybreak, going to see that number of counties and the number of people grow. Alan Watts, WKDZ Radio. All right, we'll move on to WDRB. Okay, how about Ryan Reynolds? All right, Jack Bramer.
Yes, Governor, what's the situation on emergency shelters and flooding? And do you feel like that there was enough advanced warning with such a catastrophic storm?
I do believe that there was advanced warning, but this is a storm the likes of which we have never seen in terms of what this tornado did. There are emergency shelters set up in multiple counties. The high school is being used as a primary shelter, as well as an additional place where you can get medical help in Graves County. And I know that shelters are being set up in other counties. Of course, we are really good people here in Kentucky. Most judges county judges that I've talked to say that kinfolk have already brought in most of those people. Fulton County hit really hard, and most everybody who has been displaced through the night is already staying with family. Okay, WDRB. All right, well, we'll make sure we get that question answered if they send it to us. A really tough night. I'm on about 2 hours of sleep. Admittedly, can't get through to family that I have in this area. I know there are a lot of other people that are going through the same thing. It's going to be all right. It's going to be hard, and there is a lot of loss. But just like everything else we've been up against, we'll make it through this too. Thank you all very much.
Mayfield, Kentucky, which is south of Paducah, Kentucky, where a rescue situation is still underway at a candle factory there, where we learned from the governor that 110 people were actually in the candle factory. And he went on to say here moments ago, we believe we will lose dozens of those individuals as that catastrophic tornado, as it was called right after it went through Mayfield, really has leveled that town. I do want to pass along before we recap what the governor said, some new information just in from Western Kentucky University. Again, that's Bowling Green, so we want to take you south of Louisville to Bowling Green. WKU has just announced that they will not hold their commencement ceremonies today on December 11th, and they went on to reemphasize that WKU remains without power, but most importantly, no injuries are reported on campus there in Bowling Green, but there is significant tornado damage in the area of Western Kentucky University and no injuries reported. We do want to emphasize that. Now, Bowling Green, Kentucky Police, where Reed Yaden has been focusing a lot of our cameras there for you. Bowling Green, Kentucky Police reporting that they're currently working numerous reports of building collapses, gas leaks, and extrications of people in the city due to the tornado and severe weather. All city crews are working to resolve and get rid of the debris in the roadway. Bowling Green asking people to please stay off the roadways if possible. Once again, going down the governor's briefing, if you're just joining us here on WHAS 11, we have coverage since before 11 o'clock last night. Again, before 11 o'clock last night when the severe weather started moving in. The governor calling this the most severe tornado event in Kentucky history. Over a dozen Kentucky counties have been impacted. Primarily the tornado, the most significant primary tornado of 4, the governor telling us 4 reported. The primary one was on the ground for over 200 miles. Deaths are now being reported in multiple counties. Graves County, which is where Mayfield, Kentucky is the hardest hit with mass casualties at a candle factory. 181 National Guardsmen are heading to that area. They're also helping with debris cleaning and security. 2 tractor-trailer rigs filled with fresh water are heading to Western Kentucky at the moment and should arrive anytime soon. Near Metro Louisville, the governor reported that damage is being reported in Bullitt, Spencer, and Shelby counties. He went on to say that this tornado outbreak certainly may surpass the 1974 super outbreak that, if you've lived in Louisville for a while, we'll never forget, as it devastated, not only hit the fairgrounds, then that 1974 tornado moved through Crescent Hill, wiped out many homes and trees there, and then did significant damage, leveled the neighborhood of Northfield in eastern Jefferson County by Holiday Manor. Again, the tornado on the ground for 200 miles, and it may eclipse the 1925 tornado record. It was a 4-state event. Louisville Metro emergency workers are right now on the interstate. They are heading to Mayfield as we speak. Power outages are expected to climb significantly. That's not only from the main power companies there, but from the rural cooperatives that serve many of the areas of western Kentucky. Again, updating that candle factory, 110 people in that candle factory. The governor says he believes that they will lose dozens of those individuals who died in the collapse and were not able to be rescued. He went on to say that hospitals in that area are in good shape for capacity and that they have power, and that people in western Kentucky are not going to just need help tomorrow, but they're going to need help for months. I want to check in with our weather team one more time from the First Alert Storm Team to get an update on where things stand now. And our newscast will begin coming up here in just a few minutes at 6 a.m. Ben?
Yeah, Doug, it's been a long 7 hours, and this severe weather event, while it is winding down, isn't completely over. We still have a couple of alerts to pass along to you. You can see things are drying out over southern Indiana out to the west of the Ohio River. Still some decent rain coming down over metro Louisville, and it's moving very quickly. This is a 1 hour loop, and still some pretty good soaking rain, unfortunately, over the east end of Louisville, and some wind gusts could still be around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And in fact, when all this rain is done later this morning and into the afternoon, I think we'll still see some wind gusts around 20 to 30, maybe even 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. So don't put the decorations back out just yet. This is a kind of a long and skinny flash flood warning that goes through Breckenridge, Southern Meade, Northern Hardin, Bullitt, Spencer, and Shelby counties. A lot of that area was impacted by a possible tornado as well. The governor mentioned a lot of those counties, including Taylor and Marion counties that could have been impacted by a tornado. We did get some confirmation, some sightings of some tornadoes on the ground earlier this evening within our viewing area. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning out right now still at this hour at Campbellsville to Columbia and Greensburg because of that thunderstorm right there. And we still have jet stream energy over the top of us, which those thunderstorms use to produce some pockets of damaging straight line winds. There is also a flash flood warning for the southern sections of Hart County and just a little bit of Greene County as well. But overall, as we look at the 1 hour animation of the loop of the radar, southern Indiana really quieting down. That little strip of showers, don't worry about it, but that is right ahead of the actual cold front that will be sweeping through our area a little bit later on this morning. So again, this is that area where we could see some damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. Not concerned about a tornado threat at this point, but some straight line winds could, again, produce some pockets of damage, maybe a few more power outages. Last check throughout Kentucky, there are about 29,000 without power with LG&E and KU. There are more with the cooperatives in the rural areas, but still a lot of power outages out there. There are over 7,000 without power in metro Louisville. Hart County had about 1,000 to 2,000 without power as well. So this is a look at our alerts map. There's that big flash flood warning. So be especially careful if you have any travel plans. You might have to navigate through some flooded areas. Just remember, if there's any flooding, turn around and find an alternate route. And as we switch it out to the broader view, there's the back edge of that cold front that's going to be moving through a little bit later this morning. And look at the contrast in temperatures across the United States. The cold air really starting to win out single digits and teens the farther northwest you go. We are still in the warm air mass. It is 64 degrees right now. We had high temperatures near 70 during the peak of this severe weather event earlier this morning, but it is cooling down to 44 in St. Louis, and this is the kind of air that we'll have on top of us late tonight. And when you factor in those very gusty winds, it's going to be wind chills in the 30s pretty much all day today. So this is the last bit of rainfall. Finally, it's out of here by around 9 o'clock, moving off to the southeast of the Bluegrass Parkway, down the Cumberland Parkway, and off to the east. And notice the temperature contrast here at 9 a.m., 63 in Campbellsville, 42 in Bedford. So about a 20-degree difference in temperatures around mid to late morning across the area. And then the cold air takes over and it is chilly across the board, and we will need to bundle up this afternoon. Kind of weird to have the highest temperatures during the early morning hours and then turning really chilly in the afternoon. And we should see a little sunshine return by later this afternoon as well. The winds begin to diminish later on this evening, and it will be a cold start to our Sunday. Low temperatures will be in the upper 20s to the low 30s, so a bit frosty as we get started. As we wrap up the rest of this crazy weekend, it's going to be seasonally cool and quiet. Upper 40s and lower 50s for our Sunday. 64 degrees at the airports. There you see some wet roads out there. There's Hospital Curve through downtown. Our Roto-Rooter camera, part of our UPSjobs.com camera network. Humidity still high at 90%. That dew point, that is spring-like. That is 61 degrees. So it is still rather humid out there, and that southwest wind has, for the moment, has been reduced a little bit. It's not as strong at the moment. That air is still coming from the southwest, still out ahead of the cold front. Cold front has not moved through yet. 65 in Bedford, LaGrange at 64 degrees, Bardstown 59, and look at Columbia, Kentucky at 71 degrees. That hasn't had much action so far, but is under that severe thunderstorm warning. So here's the planner for the rest of our weekend. Temperatures will be dropping into the 40s later on today. Some of those wind gusts at times this afternoon could be around 20 to 40 miles per hour before they slacken off late this afternoon and into the evening time. We'll go down to a low of 31 degrees, clear and cold for tonight. And then tomorrow, cool sunshine, high temperature 52, which is actually a little bit above average for this time of the year. We actually have some 60s on the way for next week, but hopefully we'll certainly avoid any more severe weather outbreaks over the next 7 days. We want to look at some of the traffic out there. There has been some trouble overnight and early this morning on Interstate 65 near the airport. Alden?
Correct, Ben. Thankfully, that is starting to get cleared up. When I last talked to Metro Safe, they do have one lane in both directions on I-65 and near the outer loop that have been reopened. However, the outer loop ramp onto I-65 South is still closed. So this is a look at that area right now. You can see one car very slowly moving by at the moment. Looks like that could be a street light or some construction. That's a street light there in the foreground, but traffic is moving very slowly in that area. It was closed for quite a while because of downed power lines from the earlier winds that were blowing through the metro area. But other than that, we don't have any major road or traffic problems here in Metro Louisville. That's the good news. It's only been this I-65 incident, and thankfully that is getting cleared up right now as well. If we still have Reed Yaden available, he's been down in Bowling Green for the last several hours. We'll go out to him and see what latest report he has for us. Reed?
Hey, good morning, Alden. If you are just rolling out of bed, perhaps you have not been with us overnight, here's what's going to be happening. I'm in Bowling Green. I'll be staying here through the morning, reporting live. At 6 o'clock, we'll go to our normal wake up. It'll be a different show today, obviously, but we'll go to a wake up between 6 and 7, then ABC from 7 to 9, then we'll be back with the 9 to 10 hour of wake up. Needless to say, you know what the content is going to be about. Here in Bowling Green and really all the communities